what does that selection process look like? Just out of curiosity, I mean, given you know the diversity you want to have from academies and enlisted, ROTC, OCS, men, women, et cetera, et cetera. Is there a board? Is it it's very similar to like almost like a when you went to the academy, you'd have to go into your senator or your representative's office and have a kind of a sit down board interview.
Yeah, Mike, thanks. I appreciate that. I actually had that in my notes. I got so nervous with such a big crowd here. I blew right by it. But it's actually interesting, right? So the Bass Military Scholars Program has absolutely nothing to do with getting our scholars into Vanderbilt University. So Joe has to apply to Peabody College to enter the education program, Meg into Owen School of Management, Hermes into School of Nursing. They have to be accepted into the university in and of itself. The Bass Military Scholars Program selection process is complete. It's almost completely separate from that. And I'll explain why it's not completely separate in just a second. But if we have 100 applicants, we actually have a screening process that has a representative from each of the colleges. And then we also use our professors of military science from Navy, Army, and Air Force as really, right, as kind of technical experts that can translate. Hermes is in the Air Force. We have somebody that understands the Air Force better than I do, right? So we have that translator present and involved in the screening process. So with the screening process, we'll whittle down from 100 to maybe 30. And then after screening, there's a selection committee. And that's comprised of 5 individuals from Vanderbilt University and 3 people from the Bass Military, from the Bass Foundation, the Lee and Ramona Bass Foundation. The Bass family is very engaged. They take tremendous pride in this. And so they want to stay engaged, not only on the selection, but in meeting and being involved with the scholars once they're here. And so while most of it is objective, there is some subjectivity to it, right? So we'll do raw scores similar to a military promotion board. We'll throw that up there, but then we're going to go select. We're going to get selective a little bit, right? We're going to subjective somewhat, right? So that we make sure that we do have the diversity. And I would argue that's similar to how military boards run anyhow, right? There's always that process as part of a military promotion board or command selection board right there. But that enables us to kind of, thoughtfully look through it and engage, in the process, right? To have that conversation to make sure we get it right. Now, the reason why I said that the colleges selection process isn't completely separate, because the schools, and I'll use the Owen School of Management as the best example, because they are. When Megan applies to Owen, there's something on the application process that says, are you a military veteran? And so when Megan checks yes, she is, every month that college kicks out a report to the Bass program saying we have 7 new applicants that are veterans. And now I can reach out to them, right? And all I am is augmenting their own process right now, right? That Megan has the potential to gain a $25,000 scholarship per year that she's here for both years. That may be an incentive that tips the scales in favor of Vanderbilt, right? And actually brings her here, not only with the money, but with that support network going on around it. So in the interview process, as Megan's applying to Owen, and I'm also talking to her. And so I'll get on a Zoom call with Megan and spend an hour with her or talk to her through the process. And I'll take that more detailed understanding of her, vice just her GRE, and I'll share that back to the college and make sure they understand, right, the human dimension of Megan and what she could potentially offer.